Good morning, good morning, good morning. Are you vulnerable? Are you vulnerable? And where are you vulnerable? Conditioning day. Cardio, mobility, getting after it. Where you have weaknesses, where you have gaps in your physical capabilities, you are automatically opened up for vulnerability. In life, if you never run in your day-to-day goings and you have to chase a bus, say goodbye to your Achilles. If you're moving house and you've never had to pick up a box from a weird angle, say goodbye to your back health. Of course, these are extreme examples, and it just increases the likelihood logically. If you don't do something and then you go and do it, go play sport when you haven't played sport for a long time, you're way more likely to get injured. Ease into it, but have no gaps in your human ability. That's what I was doing today. I normally play a sport, but because my life is a bit all over the place, don't know where I'm going to live, moving between cities, I'm not willing to go and start a sport yet, so I'm just continuing the work in the gym. When you can't play a sport, you got to train those abilities that you get from sports. Sprinting, for example. Look at me go. Oh my god. First time sprinting really, like on that machine. Pretty scary stuff, but we'll get there. But yeah, I encourage you to get after those weaknesses. Probably the things you want to do the least. If you've never stretched, you probably never want to stretch. And I've not really spent any time stretching outside of the last 5 months. Depends on your definition of stretching, of course, but this Jefferson curl is my definition of stretching. Taking yourself down in that long range, hamstrings, back of the knees, calves, glutes, lower back, neck, shoulders, lats, everything lengthened, stretching out, holding that position with a weight, building abilities in these unusual positions, so when you're moving, you gotta bend over, pick up that box. Oh god damn. Give me a heavy box. Oh, that would have been perfect timing if I didn't mess it up. Give me a heavier box next time was the words I was supposed to produce, but I've just woken up. Give me forgiveness. Give me some forgiveness in your heart. We're pursuing splits. Front and back. And we're doing it in the usual Jacob way of trying to learn about it by myself. See what free information I can absorb, and just diving in the deep end. Getting in unusual positions, feeling a stretch, feeling a strain. Again, trying to build more abilities in these new ranges. That's a huge principle of training for me. Where you have gaps, where you have vulnerabilities, face them head on. If you're not that flexible, like as you can see here, I'm struggling. I'm trying to balance. It's embarrassing. It's funny. But we move on. We keep going. We go through. And one day, my hips will be on the floor. I'll be long, loose, strong. Some would say indestructible. This coffee's getting me going. Let's go. So yeah, yesterday dove into some fantastic conditioning. It's so hard. Like when I say you don't want to have any loose vulnerabilities, any gaps in your physical abilities, I mean conditioning as well. Like you want to be able to run both at maximal intensities and for a long time. And as a human, you can do that. This is, of course, if you're not trying to be like the best athlete in something. Like if you want to be the best sprinter, you should probably predominantly sprint. I'm talking about those humans that want to be indestructible, want to be able to do everything to a decent level, to survive, to live long, not get debilitating injuries. So yeah, I was doing hard sprints, like on the sled push. That's an awesome machine, by the way. So good. Like if you have one cardio piece of equipment, I would probably used to say the assault bike, but I love sleds because you can build a stimulus without being too explosive. And those slower stimuluses, like a sled push versus a sprint, the sled push is more muscle dominant, whereas a sprint will be more tendon dominant. And it's normally good to build that muscle dominance, and that tendon ability takes longer than the muscle ability to come. So you can build sled work up and then go for sprints. And that machine enables everyone to do it without having to have like a freaking sled, which can be loud or just take up so much room. But yeah, the point is, alright, 2 minutes left, the card just died. Stay with me, home dog. So if you're gonna go and try something new, sprint when you haven't sprinted in a while, start slow, build from ground up. This is the good thing about doing sports, finding a sport you love. If you go out and find a sport you love, sports cover a lot of the bases. If it's tennis, you got a lot of that explosive movement. Tennis, fun fact, tennis actually has the correlated highest life. Why do I always find this so hard to say? Like basically if you play tennis is the sport with the highest life expectancy of people who play it, because I think you have that strength, endurance is a long game, explosive, agility, mobility, you have everything in that sport. But yeah, if you go out and find a sport that you enjoy, you will keep a lot of really good physical capabilities, which is like fantastic, because then you don't have to do this like work in the gym to fill those gaps, even though it can be super beneficial. Like of course every tennis player that's at a high level is going to do some gym work naturally, because it will just like, it's the easiest way to provide a controlled stimulus to the requirements of the sport. God, man. Long morning, moving day, last day in this apartment, back to Passau. But yeah, if you want help filling those gaps in your physical capabilities, drop me an email, let's have a call, and let's figure some stuff out for you. Let's go. Hope you have a good day. Get some coffee in you. It'll make you use your words better.